I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into a wonderful tale, a captivating tale of faith, friendship, and time travel with a book called The Adventures of the Three Amigos Club and Grandma's Mystical Bible. It's written by a very imaginative author by the name of Denny Carnell. He was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, in a home steeped in Christian values. And Denny brings his rich background and vibrant imagination to life in this story. It is a journey that invites readers to explore biblical times through the eyes of three inseparable friends who discover mystical Bible powers and extraordinary powers within the pages of that holy book. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Denny, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Loved your book. I think it's very, very inspiring. Give the folks at home an overview of what it's about.
Well, it's about three friends that are growing up together, really.
Mhm.
Their parents also grew up together. So their parents know each other. So the three friends began to become close because they lived next door to each other. And the main character, Terry, is he has his grandmother. His grandfather just passed recently, and his grandmother came to live with him. Of course, what came with her was her Bible, and she would leave it under the bed. Terry day got up from playing video games with his friends at his house and went upstairs and noticed that there was a light coming from his grandmother's room. He knew his grandmother wasn't there.
Mhm.
But he noticed that there was a light coming from his grandmother's room. And through curiosity, he slowly opened the door, knowing he was not supposed to go in her room when she was not there to give him permission. But he slowly opened the door and saw the light. Went downstairs, discreetly got his friends to come upstairs with him. And when they went upstairs, they all saw the light and was wondering what was going on. And they snuck into the grandmother's room, trying to do it without, the parents knowing anything. And they pulled the Bible out from under the bed. Terry did, put the covers over them. They opened the Bible and boom, they went into their first adventure, which was they met Abraham
Mhm.
and his wife traveling. So I hope it lends to the child's imagination. And these young people are about somewhere between, I place them between 9 and 11 years old. And they're inquisitive minds. I wanted them to really expand their imagination to see what's going on in the Bible and how I didn't want to stray from the truth. I wanted to tell the story as it was, but inflicted what could have been as
Exactly.
well. In
Well,
the
it really brings the Bible to life, no doubt. And you're really such a vivid storyteller, such a visual storyteller. That sounds like the opening of a movie. These three friends growing up together, grandma has passed, they see a light coming from the bedroom. They open up the door slowly to make sure it's okay. They see the light, they open the book, and boom, they're within the pages of the Holy Bible and in the land of Abraham. I think that's a great opening to a movie. What do you think?
I believe so.
Yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't mind.
exactly, exactly. Well, now that the work's out there, you never know whose hands it's going to wind up in. And so, Hollywood, if you're listening, this is a great visual story. It's the greatest story ever told, also combined. So, take a look at this out there in Hollywood land. Denny, let me ask you a little bit about the book itself. Is there a favorite adventure that the friends go on that you truly enjoy?
I really enjoy it. It's really two of them. Two of my favorite stories were the one about Moses and also the one about David. Um, I have them both as really young children. Moses, they were introduced to Moses as they saw Miriam put him in the river. That's when they were introduced to him. But then I have a part in the book where it skips the ages, and like overnight they go to sleep in the land of Moses, where they're experiencing the what's going on, the adventure. They're experiencing that adventure. They go to sleep in that adventure, and they wake up 3 or 4 years later, and they wondering what happened to us? How did we? But they're still in the adventure.
Yep.
And Moses is now 3 or 4 years late or earlier, and he knows who they are, and he runs to them when his mother comes to care for him at the palace. They go with her, and he knows exactly. And they're wondering, how does he know who we are? We just saw him last night as a baby. That can't be Moses. So, the imagination is kind of stretched there. Then with David, I talked to him. I let them experience him as a young shepherd, and then they experienced him as killing Goliath, and they're wondering, what's going on with that? And it's something how God allowed me to use my imagination to get them in and out of the stories. But that would be some of the things that I would think about. Now, how am I going to get them into this story? And then how am I going to get them out of this story?
Right.
So it flowed. It flowed. God gave me that knowledge to be able to let it flow.
Yeah. And I also think, this book is ripe to have a sequel or maybe two or three. There are numerous stories in the Bible that you could visit. And of course, there's the New Testament also. So what do you think about that? Do you think there's more books coming?
Oh, I have more material. I just put in that much in order to, get the book on the shelves. But I do have more material. I do intend to sequelize it, at least a trilogy out of it. I know certainly I have material that I'm working on right now with David being older, and they're noticing they're interacting with David as being an older person. In this book, they are interacting with Naaman. They're interacting with Abraham. They're interacting with different individuals that are in the book. And so I do have materials already written that I haven't really put in book form yet.
Right.
But I do have materials and stories that are written.
Ready to go.
I do want to stick to the truth of the Bible.
Yeah, and that's important to you. I know you're the son of a Pentecostal pastor. Your mother was an evangelist. So faith runs deep within your genes. So you wanted to make sure that this story was not only told in an entertaining way that would hold the attention of young people, but also that it was accurate and faith-filled. Tell us a little bit about working to achieve that goal.
Well, I did, me myself being a retired pastor, of pastors for 20 years, another Pentecostal church in Maryland. And I wanted to stick to the principles of the Bible. I didn't want to get so overwhelmed with the story that I veer from exactly what the story is saying to us and to these children. But I wanted them to understand that, the most important thing is that God is real in those stories, and that he is always present in what's going on. And they realize that through the story itself, and not only them, but their parents also realize that, and is constantly teaching them this is the way it should be. And they take those teachings that they learn in Sunday school, the story from the Sunday school. They have been to Sunday school and been to church that week, and then all of a sudden they're in that story.
Yeah,
or they're in a story that's near what that's talking about. So they take the experience of hearing the word of God and what's going on to experiencing the word of
exactly.
God.
I think it's such a wonderful premise. Like you said, Sunday school only goes so far, services only go so far, but to have a story that a child feels like they're going on an adventure in exploring the Bible, I think is absolutely terrific. I think this would be an important book for all Bible schools to have, for all Bible camps to have, and of course, every family to have who wants their child to have a proper Christian upbringing. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. It is called The Adventures of Three Amigos Club and Grandma's Mystical Bible. It's written by a great author, an imaginative author, a former pastor, Denny Carnell, and it is a great read. It is highly recommended. Your children will just love it. They will literally become immersed in it. Denny, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan, for having me.
My pleasure. I enjoyed speaking with you, sir. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.